Did the economic blackout of February 28th really make a big impact on big business? Or did it possibly just open the door for small businesses and resellers? And I'm curious to know what you think. So, February 28th was economic blackout. And if you're like me, you might be a little bit out of the loop, and I definitely was. I didn't know anything about it until after the fact, or maybe Michael had told me the day of, but it didn't really impact anything that I was doing that day. I was still working like normal, but got me curious to know a little bit more of what Economic Blackout Day was all about. Hi, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Hope, and if we've not met, my husband Michael and I run an eBay business, and we also share on this channel what we're learning along the way and the thoughts inside our head about living simple and right-sizing our lives so that we can focus on the things that were most important to us. So it turns out people have a lot of different reasons for participating in the boycott, but one of those is to encourage buyers to just simply be more intentional about their purchases. Overconsumption and fast fashion have had a lot of devastating impact on not only our wallets, but our mental health and the environment as well. Not to mention, big box stores have driven out a lot of small businesses that are really just majorly impacting small communities. We've all heard the stories of small towns where big box stores come in and basically they drive out all the small businesses in the area, and then they get to the point where the community is no longer supporting the big box store and it moves out, leaving food deserts in the midst of cities all over America. So the question is, did the boycott affect big business? Did they feel it at all? Most likely, no. However, what movements like this may do, though, is simply open the door for small business resellers. So imagine if buyers were to become more conscious and more intentional about the purchases that they were making. We all claim that we're concerned about the environment, yet we're spending a lot of money on fast fashion and cheap purchases from other countries. By purchasing pre-owned items, we are keeping good quality items in the economy, giving them a longer life, keeping them out of landfills, and keeping them from being dumped onto third world countries. We're also saving money because we're buying used instead of new. Then there's also the community impact. The majority of resellers are doing a lot of their sourcing from thrift stores, yard sales, and church rummage sales. So think about your local thrift store. Most of them are supporting ministries like homeless shelters, domestic abuse centers, rehab centers, and more. So when resellers are purchasing, they're putting money into those thrift stores, which are able to put them into their ministries. So by supporting a reseller, you're supporting where they buy their goods. Buyers also impact resellers by helping them to earn a living without giving those dollars to the big corporations. Then there's also the benefit of just personal connection that resellers have with their buyers. I know that in our own experience, just a couple of months into starting our eBay store, we had someone reach out to us on a Sunday evening, and he was the father of the bride-to-be, and the wedding was coming up that week. He had planned to wear a favorite blazer to the rehearsal dinner, but thankfully he pulled it out the weekend before the wedding, only to find that there were moth holes front and center of the jacket. So he was in a bit of a panic. He reached out to us because he saw a blazer in our store that he felt like would meet his needs for the occasion, and wanted to know if there was any way possible that we could provide an overnight service for him. And it's not part of what we normally do because our own daughter had recently been married the past couple of years. We knew what it was like to plan a wedding how difficult it can be and stressful when all of those things are coming together at the last minute and something has slipped through the cracks. So we pulled the blazer out that we had, sent him more pictures of it, then spent the next morning driving around trying to find the most certain way to get this blazer to him a day in advance. And in the end, he got the blazer, it fit perfectly, and he was very pleased with the customer service that we've been able to provide. So that made us feel good. We helped someone out, he was in a bit of a jam, and it was just all part of our business. You're not going to get that from a big box store. So you can see that by supporting resellers in their small business, you're impacting communities through thrift stores. You're getting customer service. You're getting connection with real live people running a small business and supporting their family. And you're saving money. So it's a win-win all around for everybody. So my final thoughts here are that hard economic times combined with boycotts or movements like this that just try to get people to stop and think really can be good when some people are slowing their roll and trying to be a little more intentional about where they spend their dollars. We all know that the loudest vote that you can place is where you spend your dollars. So let's vote to support the small businesses and the resellers on platforms like eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and others, and keep things out of the landfills, supporting ministries through thrift stores, and enjoying the impact they can have on our community. The mindful spending just supports real people, ministries, and businesses rather than just big corporations. So, what's your thought? Do you think that the economic blackout had any kind of impact? Has it made you stop and think just a little bit? If so, maybe it was worth it. I hear there's another one coming up at the end of this month, so maybe it's something we're going to see more of. Who knows? I just hope that it helps us all to be a little bit more intentional about how, when, and where we spend our money. We'll catch you guys on the next one.